in this video, I want to talk about 6 ways emotionally intelligent men handle tough conversations. Now, as men, we get into conversations sometimes that can trigger us, cause us to be defensive and have to like prove our point. I experienced a lot of this in my past relationships where I almost didn't even know how to have conversation that, you know, where you have disagreements, where you start to really see that you are not in alignment with somebody and how to even like maintain self-control and stop getting elevated and having to cuss and having to kind of like make yourself louder. So I really struggled with this. So I want to share these 6 ways that emotionally intelligent men handle tough conversations. I've had to really work on this. And these are things that I think any man can implement in his life so that when you're having them tough conversations with your girl, with your boss, your coworkers, kids, these are some key points that you want to hone in on to make those things go smoother. Now, the first way emotionally intelligent men handle tough conversations is they remove their ego. They get that ego out the way, man. That ego causes so many problems, man. It causes us to have to defend ourselves. It causes us to have to over-explain ourselves, prove our point. Ego is sensitive, and a lot of things come from that sensitive ego, especially when you're trying to have a difficult conversation with somebody. You're going to feel like you're in that self-protective mode. When we're in self-protective mode, sometimes we do and we say things that we may not mean, trying to protect ourselves, all right? So that's what it means, trying to get that ego out the way so that you're not coming from a place of where you feel attacked, where you feel like you got to protect yourself. And by removing that ego, you can kind of like open up yourself and receive what the conversation is trying to bring to you. You know, you can kind of find the message underneath that ego. Like I said, it can cause a lot of problems, all right? The second way emotionally intelligent men handle tough conversations is that they are able to take feedback and constructive criticism, all right? Another thing that I really struggled with, I did not know how to really take feedback. I always took it as like a personal attack. I didn't know how to separate the two from it just being a critique of my work or something like that. You know, I would take things personally. So being able to learn how to like just take feedback during like a tough conversation. Like I said, for example, if you're having a conversation with like a coworker, I've had to have this conversation a couple times with coworkers where I felt like we've bumped heads or we've had to kind of smooth things over. And that can be a difficult conversation because it can activate you. It can trigger you in a way, again, where you go into self-protective mode. You're in like fight or flight. So being able to counteract that fight or flight is just being able to kind of take feedback, you know, be able to, and like I said, it's easier said than done. There's some other work that of course you have to do to be able to not take that feedback personally. And I talk about that in some of my other videos. Maybe I'll leave a link in the description linking to those videos. But yeah, you want to stop taking things so personally. And that's going to allow you to be able to take feedback and constructive criticism a bit better because, again, you're not taking it as a personal attack. It all stems back to that ego. That ego gets in the way, man. The third way that emotionally intelligent men handle tough conversations is that they are able to sit in the discomfort, able to embrace the discomfort that conversation is about to bring on. Because, you know, like I said, when you have tough conversations, when you have, you know, they get uncomfortable as hell, right? And being able to kind of sit within that storm of discomfort is a superpower, being able to do that. I think that requires just a super high level of like awareness, you know, and I really value that skill, being able to do that. And that's what I try to work on. So I know how important it is to be able to just sit in discomfort, man. I think one way to really practice this is to like working out, because working out, when you're trying to move weight and you need to go up in weight and you're challenging yourself, you're trying to push through to that next threshold, it kind of almost trains your mind to just kind of like be uncomfortable. Maybe that's not the best analogy, but that's kind of what first came to mind. But yes, being able to sit within discomfort. This is something that I didn't even know how to do this. This was a thing. I didn't know what this looked like until I started becoming a bit more in tune with myself and when I started actually feeling when I'm like angry or triggered. And what I mean is like actually being able to feel that shift in my body. Like I never really recognized that until, you know, a few years ago. And being able to recognize that has been a game changer for me. So when I have to have an uncomfortable conversation with like a coworker or something, we got to address something, I can feel that shift within me, but I don't let it like take over me. It used to take over me and just, like I said, you're in that fight or flight and you got to kind of like defend yourself. You get louder. But being able to recognize the shift, I just got more control over myself. I'm able to like take a deep breath and just calm the hell down. Focus on the breathing, you know, and it goes all the way back to the meditation stuff, but I ain't gonna get into that right now in this moment. But yes, embrace discomfort, sit in the discomfort. Now, the fourth way emotionally intelligent men are able to have tough conversations is because they are able to express themselves while holding space for somebody else to do the same too. So you're not like, emotionally intelligent men can like express themselves in a way where it can be received. You don't need to be all loud and all crazy and out of character and stuff like that. But you can also shut up and listen and let somebody else express themselves and just hear what they're saying without the need to interject, without the need to hijack the conversation and say, but wait. Or, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, no, just be able to shut up and just listen and let them explain. Don't be judging them. You don't have to put your opinions and stuff onto them, but just being able to actually hold space for that person to express themselves too, just like you did. That's really helpful within tough conversations because it allows both people to feel like they're being heard, you know, and when you feel like you're heard, when you're truly been heard, where you feel that on a deep level, you know what I'm saying? So it's very key. Be able to express yourself while holding space for somebody else. Now, the fifth way that emotionally intelligent men handle tough conversations is that they listen more than they speak. So this piggybacks off of what I just said. Emotionally intelligent men know the value of just listening. You don't always have to say something. And I had to learn this too in my life, man. I feel like I always had to say something. Like just always had to, I don't know, like just could never just be quiet and just listen. You know, and as I get older and as I'm on this journey that I'm on, I just really have learned the value in being able to just listen. Man, it's like the key. It's like the secret key into like people's heart and soul. You know what I mean? When you just shut up, they just feel so heard. They feel so seen, especially when you can start to actively listen and reflective listen. And you start repeating back to people what they just said. When you reflect it back to them, it will really enhance your relationships. It will really enhance how you connect with just people in everyday life. Listening is another superpower. If you're enjoying this video so far, please hit that like button. I really appreciate it. It really helps with the video reaching more people. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you know when I make more content just like this. All right, now let's go ahead and jump back into this, all right? The sixth and final way that emotionally intelligent men handle tough conversations is that they seek to learn and grow from the conversation, all right? When we're having these tough, difficult, challenging conversations, emotionally intelligent men are looking at it like, what can I take from this? What is the lesson in this? What is the main concern? What is the purpose of this conversation? How can this help me in my life? Or maybe there's nothing I need to take from this, but I still can maintain a high level of centeredness, groundedness. I can be mindful of what my body is shifting during this difficult, challenging conversation, but I don't have to let it take over me. I don't have to get all loud and animated and exaggerated and have to prove my point and raise my voice and be bigger than I really need to be. No, I don't need to do any of that. All right. And these are 6 things that emotionally intelligent men do. If you want to improve these types of skills and you want to work with me one-on-one, be sure to leave me a message. All right. I help men with emotional mastery and self-awareness. OK, so again, if you like this video, please hit that like button. Don't forget to check out some of my other videos. I'll leave one floating around somewhere for you. And I will see you on the next video. Peace.